6 years ago, London Gatwick Airport aerodrome attack.
Drone over Gatwick's runway
UK24.
week leading up to Christmas in 2018 impacted the trips of around 140,000 passengers.
Seems rather stupid that this incident had to happen at all.
It cost police forces nearly £500,000, and EasyJet claimed they lost 15 million through passenger compensation and lost revenue.
Remember that? It was November 2000.
Fear an incident could happen again if people don't read up on the rules.
18 November.
If drones are seen operating
Drones at London's Gatwick Airport.
Critical infrastructure and airports, the operations will have to be suspended. Sometimes, even though you might only see it for a second, but it's really obvious what it is. We've got lots and lots of pilots who operate drones themselves, lots of members of BALPA are drone operators. They know exactly what drones look like. In fact, some of them will report exactly the make and model of the drone, so we can be absolutely certain in those instances that the drone is the drone and not something else, a bird or a balloon or a plastic bag.
Gatwick Airport says the problem is growing. In May last year, a dozen inbound flights were diverted to other airports when a drone was seen close to the airfield. They say the sightings tend to peak in the summer when the weather's good and at Christmas when people get drones for presents.
The impact is huge. It's a drain on resources. As I said, safety is our number one priority, so we can't take any chances.
You said,
it's a drain on the police resource. It's a drain on the airport resource. It causes disruption. Most of the time, there's no malice behind it, and it's completely unnecessary.
Next day is the 29th of December. Sunday morning, guys.
Implications of an impact at high speed with a drone compared with a bird.
Is that why it's worrying? Because we don't know the impact that it might have?
Yes, research is being done, but one interesting aspect is that birds will tend to get out of the way of an aircraft, and you do see that occasionally, but drones won't because the operator is not fully aware how close they will be to an aircraft.
So what exactly are the rules? Well, you might look at the perimeter fence here at Gatwick and think, surely I could fly a drone from here, but that's not the case. The flight restriction zone means you have to be at least 5 kilometres from any runway in the UK before you're allowed to stick a drone up. That's quite a distance, as far as I am now here on the edge of Smallfield in Surrey.
And in case you're wondering, no, we didn't use a drone for that shot. People can ask for permission to fly within the restriction zone, but that's mainly for events and functions, and you have to apply directly through the airport. It's not just these rules some drone users are breaking though. Investigation reports in the last year have found people are flying too high. A man from Lincolnshire was fined for causing the RAF, the air ambulance and a police helicopter to divert because he was flying a drone at 12,000 feet. The legal limit is 400. Meanwhile, in January, a pilot suspected a drone had come within 5 feet of a passenger Airbus.
That's horrifying. What tricks?
So that they know what they shouldn't be doing. If we're going to try and stop this, it's got to be stopped at cause. It would be nice if more could be done at point of sale, but given the way we buy things these days, trying to accept all of the online purchases and point out the drone regulations at that point is quite hard because there's no way of enforcing.
Those caught breaking the law can face unlimited fines and a prison sentence. And the National Police Chiefs Council says next year officers will be able to give on-the-spot fines to anyone misusing a drone.
This is dangerous stuff. This could cause a plane to come down. I could have come down
if you own a drone or you open one for Christmas.
Please don't fly aerodrones near airports in the UK, especially anywhere, everywhere. Be thoughtful.
Are the rules? Are the parameters?
I don't think it was holidays. I don't think it was lives.
Yes. So good morning. So
it could be manslaughter.
Over Christmas, obviously use it, enjoy it, fly it, but do so safely. So all of the rules are set out in what we have as the drone code.
And don't fly them over.
And for most people,
the watercress line, please, as well.
They'll need to register with us.
And that's dangerous, especially if it crashes and lands on the steam engine.
And that goes through all of the requirements, the rules, as part of that. So people should be getting that information at that stage.
Okay, so that's easy to see, easy to look at, is it?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so we've written it and produced it. We tweak it over the years to make sure it sort of stays up to date and current and good for people. But all the feedback we get is, yes, it's very understandable. We've written it for all ages, every type of person. So, because obviously a lot of kids will be getting drones as well. So it's absolutely made accessible for all of those people.
And as we heard in Josie's report there, quite often those who are pushing the rules or breaking the rules aren't necessarily aware. It's not done with malicious intent. It is just that lack of awareness.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's why we do a lot of work trying to educate people. We go to events, we produce materials, we put videos in social media. We do a huge amount, as does the whole industry and the drone industry itself, to try and educate people. One of the things, though, that I think we have to remember is, you know, a drone you can buy in a shop and fly. It's very different, for example, being a pilot of any kind of aircraft where you have to do a lot of training, pass a lot of exams. It's much more accessible, as it should be, but then that puts the responsibility on people having a drone to actually find that information out and you know, do a fly ID test and comply with the law.
So it's on them, and equally people might point to the fact that enforcement is not as rigorous as it might be. So looking back to the standstill of 2018, despite Sussex Police doing an extensive investigation, it was then closed and nobody was prosecuted. Do you think if the ramifications for those who broke the rules were great,
I reckon they're pilots for those air drones.
Well, certainly in the past couple of years, the capability of the police drone teams and the enforcement teams has increased significantly. So the Lincolnshire case that was referred to in your news story, within 2 days of that being reported to the police as a possible issue of the drone flying ridiculously high, they had located and arrested the user. So the message to drone users is, if you are maliciously on purpose trying to do something with your drone that's illegal, you need to be aware that now the capabilities and the enforcement is significantly stronger than it has been in the past.
Which is safest for everyone, isn't it? I just want to ask you while you're here, Jonathan, about the unfolding situation in South Korea. A bird strike is being looked at as one of the potential causes. There will be people at home perhaps looking to book a flight next year or thinking about heading away who might be feeling worried. What would you say about that?
Yeah, so sympathies obviously with everybody affected by that accident. Bird strikes are incredibly rare. Unfortunately, they do happen, but that's why engines on aircraft are made to withstand significant bird strikes and either continue to operate or shut down in a controlled manner. So aviation is extremely safe, and there will be a complete investigation into this.
That's what I flew yesterday.
Exactly what happened.
It's easier, it's quicker. Honestly, the ear problem come down for a few days, but it goes away after a few days.
Seeing in London that's stopping some flights leaving and arriving.
Aye.
At what point do they make that decision of bad weather to really bad weather that keeps planes from landing?
Yeah, so today's looking a lot better. I think over 80% of flights are on time from the
compared to the last few days. This is Friday.
It's a decision made by air traffic control purely for safety reasons. So aircraft, obviously, you know, modern aircraft can land in most conditions and land with zero visibility in a lot of cases. But it's all about once you're on the ground primarily. So it's pilots being able to see to taxi. It's air traffic controllers being able to see the runways clear for the next aircraft. Those are the kinds of things that put the restrictions in place. They will only ever go in place for safety reasons.
There you go.
Once again to hear Jonathan
Please subscribe to Side Jammers. I can't play so close.
Thank you so much for your time this morning.
And this is my friend Sparky and Jim every Friday, 3 to 5 p.m. ITF Friday. Surrey Hills Radio every Friday. And this is my friend Shane, Labour's in the Louvre for the years, at 10 to 12 p.m. on Surrey Hills Radio every Friday. And this is my friend John on Last Show every Sunday at 9 to 12 p.m. live on the Woke Motion. Last Show every Sunday. These questions, Side Jammers.